Hi Simply Church, hope you've had an amazing weekend. It's been brilliant to spend time with you over the last couple of days, or with many of you anyway. We had just a great time at the church party, eating food together, some of us dancing and then ending up the evening with a couple of worship songs. So it's just really good to be able to just have that time to fellowship and spend time together. And then hopefully today you're off in your home churches and going through the second chapter of Daniel. And hopefully what you've just seen is this continuous theme of God's love, grace, sovereignty, moving through these young men's lives. And we saw in chapter 1 how they resolved to not defile themselves, but to stand firm in the things that God had for them. And in chapter 2, God uses that powerfully to speak into the life of this powerful king, King Nebuchadnezzar, to the point where Daniel interprets his dream, or tells him what his dream is, then interprets it. And then the king acknowledges right at the end of that chapter that there is no other God like Daniel's God. He is the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. And what an amazing statement for this pagan, powerful king to make, that because Daniel and his friends honoured God, loved God, followed God, wouldn't compromise or conform to the things of the pressures around them, God gives them this supernatural wisdom that then speaks into the king's life. And we begin to see this chain of events that is taking place that will unfold over the book of Daniel. So I'd encourage you to keep reading, keep thinking about, okay, so what does that mean for me? How does it look like for me to make a stand, both personally and publicly? What does it look like for me to be able to hear the voice of God and grow in the way that I walk by the Spirit on a day-by-day basis? What does it look for me to, listen to the promptings of the Holy Spirit so that we can follow what he says each day? And I really want to encourage us, as I did in my home church today, that we really look at praying for one another, that each other will grow in our love for God, love for each other, love for the people around us, that we'll grow in our walk with him and our discipleship, and that others will come to faith through the way that we live our lives and preach the gospel. So be encouraged with that. Just want to finish off this video just to mention a few bits and pieces. So you'll be in your home churches as usual this week, but then on Sunday, this coming Sunday, there is a visiting speaker coming. We're all together in the Riviera at the usual time of 11 o'clock. We have a speaker called Andy from Compassion coming. He'll be sharing bits and pieces about the work of Compassion, and I hope we'll have a word for us as well from God. So please come along, invite people along to that as well. Just be a great time again to be able to worship, to come together, and just to hear what God's doing through Compassion and through the work that we as a church corporately sponsor, but I know many of us also individually do. And then hopefully you'll see you've already had in your emails the various patterns that are going on. You'll see at the beginning of March, we've got this hybrid service where we're going to be going in our home churches in the early afternoon, using that time to just spend time together as we normally do in home church. And then that will flow into this gathered service where we'll all come together and we can share with one another what God's been saying and doing, and spend that time worshiping and getting into the Word. And again, it'll just be that freedom, no time constraints, but just be able to come together as a body after coming together in our individual home churches. So more information will come out about that soon. The other, just a couple of other things to mention is you've probably been spoken to in your home church about this opportunity to be able to help serve and connect with our young people. So the youth meet on a Wednesday at 6:30, and what we were saying is, you've probably heard it at home church, it'd be great if we get a few people to be able to cook a dinner for them and then hang out with them. So really what we want to encourage is this kind of idea of family. Not an idea, the Bible actually tells us we're family. And if we see these kids as part of our family, this is an amazing opportunity which we can serve them and our youth leaders by coming and cooking a meal for them, and then we can actually get to know them by eating food with them as well. So it actually starts to create this connection, this family. And I know there's loads of reasons why this could be tricky. What do people eat? I've got to do my own food, I've got to cook for my own family. But actually they are our family. And we always make time for things that we can make time for. So I really do encourage you to pray about this. Is this some way is this a way in which we can grow and connect as a family, that we can serve our youth leaders and our young people, but also connect together? Again, any more questions, your home church leaders will be able to answer. We've had long chats around it, some of the logistics and how it can all work. And it's not super difficult to sort out. So do have conversations with your home church leaders about that. And it would really be great to know who would be able to do this. I'm only probably looking for, say, once a month, maybe less than that if more people come forward. But we'd like to maybe even try and start that over after half term if we get people in time. So please look out for that. That would be great. And also, you'll probably know that this is the last thing I just want to say. You know that we've been doing Street Reach for many, many years. We've connected with loads of people. We've homed homeless people. We've prayed with young people, given words with them. We've opened up the Riviera and they've come in and we spent time with them. And God's used that. And we did a little bit over here and there in places, but haven't been consistent in the last while. But we've been talking particularly with the youth team, John and Emily, Ben and Emily and some others, about this and reconnecting. We went out again on Friday, just gone, and no exaggeration, there was well over 100 young people. It was just so many. It was literally swarms of them down by the back beach, wandering through the town. We chatted to a couple of them. The police were there. We chatted just to PCSO and a policeman. We chatted with them, and we just sense that God is really re-stirring us and rekindling us for connecting with these young people and anyone else that he actually brings us in contact with, but certainly these young people. So we're going to be starting to open up every Friday. We want to open up the Riviera so that we can have young people can come back there and we can have more meaningful conversations with them. We'll have teams there, teams going out. If you want to get involved in that, come and speak to us, or John and Emily, or Ben and Emily. If you can pray into that, we really want wisdom and direction as we move forward. And obviously we'll chat with anyone while we're out and about, like I said, not just the young people, although the Riviera part will be for young people. And it was really an eye-opener for us. It's probably the most young people we've seen in a long time. We have seen big groups in the past, but this was huge. Many of them been drinking, drugs, all kinds of stuff, and they're not always that old either. So just want to put that out there as a church, to put it on our radar, to be praying. Obviously, all the correct procedures will be in place for us to do it in a right and safe way. But ultimately, we're trusting in a breakthrough of the Holy Spirit. We want them to experience God's love, the gospel that will transform their lives. So that's pretty much what I want to say. I'm sure there's lots of other bits and pieces. Keep praying, keep sharing together, keep encouraging, keep looking for opportunities to be discipled and to disciple others. Keep looking for opportunities to share the gospel, knowing it's the power of God for salvation. And let's just keep encouraging ourselves as a church, as a body, to as we come together as one family and allow God, the Holy Spirit, to work through us. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. You take care. Bye.